So, but in the meantime, welcome back to my channel. So, this is the first time I'll be going live on this channel, and I just decided to try something different this time around. I figured it's going to be more engaging and more interactive with a live session. So I figured it's going to be much more engaging when we go live because you have the opportunity to ask any blockchain question that you may have, or maybe you're looking towards building in the blockchain space and you're not sure where to begin, or you have so many questions. So whatever your question is, as far as blockchain is concerned, feel very free to drop it in the comment section, and I'll do my best to answer those questions. But in the meantime, while I'm still waiting for people to join in the meantime, um, I'm going to be talking about the steps you need to take or what you need to know or do before you get into the blockchain space, especially focus when you are looking towards blockchain development. So I've had a lot of questions from people asking like, "Oh, I want to go into blockchain development. I don't know what to do. How do I go about it? I have I've not programmed before, or I have programmed before, and I want to do blockchain. So what do I need to do?" So there's a roadmap. I did a similar video like this before, but I just decided to like do the live version of it so that if there are questions, if there are still pressing questions that you probably have, you can seize this opportunity to ask those questions. So now, assuming you are already a developer building in a Web2 space, whether as a back-end developer or as a front-end developer, you already have an experience. And then if you have not built before in the blockchain space, what are you going to do or where do you begin? So now let's start with those that have built something on the blockchain space before. They have done some one or two things on the blockchain space, and if that is you, you probably want to follow me along as I walk you through this roadmap. And so meanwhile, if you have any question, like I said earlier, feel free to drop it on the comment section. I'll be looking at the comments for any questions. In the absence of questions, I'll just go ahead and continue with this session. So let me share my screen so you could see what I have to show you. All right. For some reasons, I just kind of like this particular roadmap that is here. So I'll be walking you through this roadmap. So basically, there are different kind of roadmap on this platform depending on what you are looking at for. So as far as blockchain development goes, you want to consider any of these. So first of all, you want to be able to like know what blockchain is about, like figure out what the blockchain is about. That's like the beginning stage for everyone. So whether or not you want to become a blockchain developer, whether or not you just want to be a researcher in the space or a social media marketer, or you are a UX designer, or you want to create content around blockchain, this is going to be this basic blockchain knowledge is going to be very, very important for everyone. So this is not just for people that want to build as developers in the blockchain space. Because from experience, while working with different people that probably just transition into the blockchain space and without doing so much research, because I've seen people that come out as product managers or as UI/UX designers, and then they have little or no knowledge about the blockchain. They are just completely lost whenever we talk about anything blockchain. But then they are acting as product managers or as designers or as social media marketers within the blockchain space. So it becomes very important for everyone. This is the advice I always give to those set of people. it becomes very important for you as a person that is interested in the blockchain space to consider learning a bit about the blockchain. But if you are so interested about the blockchain, you want to dive deeper beyond just the basic knowledge. So being interested in the blockchain is not just limited to just writing code or writing blockchain related code. So this goes as far as understanding what the blockchain is, what is decentralization, why does it matter. So all these things are very important for you to be able to like understand what is going on in the blockchain space. And it's going to help you a lot as a person that is working alongside other teams that are building on the blockchain space. So assuming you're a product manager, you'll be in a better position to understand your product better or explain things better maybe to stakeholders and all of that if you understand what the blockchain is about, and you most likely you are going to understand what that product that you are trying to build or that you are managing is all about. So the same thing applies to design. So if you're a designer and you are looking to dive into blockchain, so you also need some basic knowledge of what the blockchain is about. You also need to understand the US problem or the different challenges currently facing in the blockchain space. So that as a designer, you can be able to like profess solution using your design with that knowledge that you have gathered or with that knowledge you have gained. Yeah, so moving from this basic knowledge, so as part of the basic knowledge, you want to understand the blockchain structure, the basic blockchain operations, the application, the use cases, and all that. So these are all like part of understanding what the blockchain is about. And then moving from that, you also want to understand what the different storage that we have in the blockchain space. In the Web2 space, we have what we call centralized storage. That's the storage that we are used to. We have things like Google Cloud, AWS, and other cloud services or cloud providers as well that you can take advantage of when building in the Web2 space. But in the Web3 space, we have decentralized storage. We have the likes of IPFS, where you can store different assets, you can store images and things like that. So those things are also part of what you need to also understand as a developer or someone that's coming into the blockchain space as a developer, because that's also going to like help you to know what kind of storage to use at every given point in time. And then going forward, you also need to understand what cryptography is. So these are still like you trying to still understand what the blockchain is about. So you don't just move from, oh, I want to become a blockchain developer, and then you just move straight to writing code or straight to learning Solidity, assuming you are interested in building in the EVM space. So all these theories are very important. So these are things that personally I wish I actually like spent time understanding these things before even going straight into application development. So it's very important for you to have this theoretical knowledge, like understanding what cryptography is, what consensus is, and what execution layers and all those things, what they actually mean. And then the blockchain interoperability, what does it mean? And we talk about mining, we talk about incentive model, we talk about DAOs, things like that, blockchain forking, cryptocurrencies, crypto wallets, and all that. So these are very important concepts. And sometimes when we talk about blockchain, when we talk about Web3, the first thing that comes to people's mind is cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency is just one aspect of the blockchain. So it's not the whole blockchain itself. So beyond cryptocurrency, there are other things that we can do on the blockchain. And that's why these days we are building a lot of applications, a lot of solutions, and things like that on top of the blockchain. Yeah, so and I think by now, for some of you that are watching, that are probably going to do your own, a little bit of your own research, you probably would have seen that we have different kinds of blockchain, and we have the Ethereum blockchain, we have Bitcoin, we have Solana, we have Tron, and so many, we have Agora, and so many other blockchain. So when talking about learning how to build on the blockchain space, you want to first of all ask yourself, which of the blockchain do I want to build on? So now that you have understood a bit about, like, having a general knowledge of what the blockchain is, the next thing you want to be aware of is, which of the blockchain do I want to build on? Which of the blockchain should I build on top of? So if you are certain which blockchain you want to build on, then it becomes much easier for you to now narrow down your focus as to which smart contract language you are going to learn as a blockchain developer. So let's say, for instance, you're interested in building on EVM or the Ethereum blockchain. So for a certainty, you have options like learning Solidity or learning uh, Viper. So that's for Python people that are interested in Python or already have experience writing Python code. So that will be much easier for you. Then, if you're already knowledgeable in writing the likes of JavaScript or TypeScript, Solidity is very much like that. So you can easily like write Solidity code with that knowledge. So with that, having known what blockchain you want to build on, you can now decide, like I said earlier, you cannot decide which language you want to use to build it. And then moving forward from just having that basic knowledge, there are some advanced concepts you also want to take note of. Concepts like what's it called? Concept like oracles. So we have what we call oracles. So oracles are platforms like Chainlink, or there are different kinds of oracles, but in within the Ethereum ecosystem, Chainlink is very, very much popular. And then there are other ones that are still upcoming. And then based on blockchain specific, there are some blockchain that have their own specific kind of oracles. So oracles can be used for getting the likes of, maybe you want to get price feed, you want to automate some processes within your smart contracts. Those things you can easily do them right inside those oracle platform, or even generating random numbers and all of those things. And then moving down, we have so like I said, we have this is EVM, this is TVM. So this is like saying Tom virtual machine and Ethereum virtual machine. So what runs within under the hood within the Ethereum blockchain is what they call EVM. So every blockchain have their virtual machine that powers that particular blockchain. And EVM is a big Ethereum is a big blockchain with a big community and ecosystem, and that means Ethereum have some other sub blockchain that we can call L2s, L3, those blockchains that are built on top of Ethereum. And also, as part of like helping to improve on the scalability of Ethereum, we also have what we call rollups. So I believe we're going to see that down as we proceed on this roadmap. So for smart contract, I earlier mentioned, we have Solidity, Viper, or Rust. So for the likes of Solana blockchain, you make use of Rust or Anchor framework, and there are some other blockchains with their own smart contract language. For instance, like Algorand makes use of Python, PyTeal, TScript, and all that. And then so there are different libraries, there are different framework that helps this development process when writing smart contracts. So we probably would have heard of Ardent or Brownie, or Foundry or Truffle. So these are platforms, these are frameworks that helps development or smart contracts development. And then so these are some of the things you should also like take into consideration when writing your smart contracts. Things like the ID you want to use. So we have Remis if you are bidding on Solidity or in the Ethereum ecosystem. We have what we call Red. So you can use that to write your smart contract. And then integration tests, you can write tests, you can write unit tests, just ensure to have a proper test coverage. So in the blockchain space, I realized that testing is very, very important because every little mistake you make in your smart contract is going to be a financial cost. So it's not like everything we do on the blockchain space costs money, is money. So even if you are building an health application, everything within the blockchain space that pass through the blockchain is a transaction. So if you are doing anything, say you are creating, assuming you, even when you are not sending a token, but say you are making a send request to the blockchain, that is going to cost something. You are going to pay gas fee for that, and that is a transaction itself. So for doing a transaction, it can cost you. And then if you're writing a financial application, let's say a DeFi app, and then maybe instead of writing 10, you write 100, that's going to be a very, very big financial cost. So it's very, very important that your smart contract goes through a lot of scrutiny, like goes through auditing processes and so many processes, like to ensure that the smart contract is secured enough to avoid issues down the line. And then, so these are just tools, these are security measures you have to like take in when writing your smart contract. So down from this section might not really bother you that much for somebody that is just starting out. So you don't feel overwhelmed, like, oh, I need to learn all these things. At the end of the day, I'm going to like summarize what I am saying or what I've been saying all this while. So, and then there's almost no way you can be doing blockchain developments without having some knowledge of GitHub or Git. So whether you're even doing blockchain, whether you're not doing blockchain, as long as you're a developer, these are very, very important concepts for you to take note of, like your GitLab, your Bitbucket, and these are version control system that you use to push your code or collaborate with the rest of your team. And once you're done with your smart contracts, we have what we call dApps, that's decentralized applications. So that's like what most developers do at the end of the day when they are probably not proficient in writing smart contracts. Some people are just smart contract developers, while there are people that goes beyond just being smart contract developers, and they could be dApp developers. So being a dApp developer encompasses not just writing smart contract code, but you're also like probably creating interface for those smart contracts you have written. So by that I mean you are able to like write smart contract code and still be able to interact with Web3 front-end tools like Etas.js or Web3.js or RainbowKit, all of those tools that are out there, depending on the blockchain platform that you are building on. So when you know that, you need to know that you have to like interact with the smart contract that you have written, and that's where the front end now comes in, and that's why we now call it dApp. Not so it's now a decentralized application, not just a smart contract. So yeah, so basically, this session is not for me to start explaining what the blockchain is and what the blockchain is not. I have a video for that, so you could go through my channel and check for that video. And I also have a video where I explain some other things as far as the blockchain goes. So if you are looking to dive deeper or find resources, you can also check my channel. I have a series for Solidity. So if you are looking to move to the next step after taking this or after watching this video, you want to um, move on to the next stage by going through that Solidity series, that's going to be really, really helpful for you. So still talking about dApps. For dApps, we have different languages that you can use to write your front end. So you could, or frameworks per se. So you could use React or Vue or Next.js and all of that. You could use those to write your front end and then interact with those front end framework using the Web3 tools. So so like I mentioned earlier, these are some of the tools you can use like Etas.js or 3.js, Moralis, These are platform tools on the application level. And then on the client level, if you are looking to go into, especially if you are looking to go into deep down into protocol, you probably want to have some knowledge of clients like the we have different clients like Get, the Besu clients, Netamind, Subcharts, so many other clients, the Telco clients, and all of that. So these are clients that helps you to run a node. So I have a video on how to run a node and why you should run a node. So you could check those out as well if you are looking to go into protocol development where you have the opportunity to run nodes and all that. And what else is there to talk about? So, state and payment in China. So these are rollups. I talked about rollups earlier on. So we have side chains, we have L2s, we have L3. So these are mostly common within the EVM blockchain. Most other blockchains are just maybe they just have L1 and all that. So yeah, so if you are watching, you are very, very free to drop your questions and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Yeah. And I think earlier when I started, I talked about so there are still some concepts you need to be aware of as you dive deeper into it, which is something like DeFi, DAOs, what are they, what are NFTs, what kind of application can you really build on the blockchain? Why should you build on the blockchain? Should you bring everything on chain? Are there applications that are just good on the Web2, or are these applications good enough to be built on Web3? So these are some questions probably want to ask yourself based on the research probably would have done and the knowledge you would have gathered from understanding of what the blockchain is before making that decision to say, I want to build this application on the blockchain and all of those things. So those are very, very important concepts you should take note of. Yeah. Okay. So I think I've kind of like exhausted what I need to say for the blockchain developer part. So I would like to like touch other parts. But before that, let me talk a little bit about other aspects the of the blockchain developer or becoming a blockchain developer. So recently, I I had an interaction with somebody from the protocol, from the Ethereum protocol, and it was like, how can we like maybe you are in a conference or in a meeting, and how do we get more people to be interested in protocol development? So now, the answer I gave, which was information, because most people when they hear blockchain, the first thing that comes to their mind is oh, I want to start writing maybe solidity code or smart contract code, and I want to be able to build applications on the blockchain. And that's because that's what majority of people that come into the space do. So if you're a developer and you're not looking to build dApps, that's decentralized application, there are other things you can do within the blockchain space as a developer, which is protocol development. So you can be writing protocol level code, contributing to protocol code base on different levels. Like we have different clients that you can contribute to, or different blockchains that you can actually like contribute to. So in that case, you don't really need to even learn about solidity or all those things, but it's also very, very good for you to learn about the blockchain, especially that particular protocol that you want to contribute to. First of all, still have this general basic knowledge of the blockchain. After getting the whole general knowledge of the blockchain, then you can use your existing knowledge from being a Web2 developer to contribute on the protocol level. So by that I mean, if as a Web2 developer you normally write Go programming language, then you can still use that knowledge, or you can still write your Go language in any protocol, because I've come to realize that most of these protocols Majority of them use these low-level languages, and they use the likes of Go, they use the likes of Rust, they use Java, and so many other languages that you probably wouldn't have thought of that these languages are still used on the blockchain space. So in terms of protocol level development, these languages are very, very important. Python, Java, Rust, Go, name, and so many other languages depending on the client or depending on the protocol that you are contributing to. So, in other words, blockchain development is not limited to being a smart contract. You are not limited to just being a smart contract developer. Neither are you just limited to being a DApp developer, but you can also be a protocol developer. So that is the information I'm putting out here for you. So in case you feel like, oh, I already know Go and I want to be part of what's happening in the blockchain space, I want to contribute. I want to contribute to any protocol. So any protocol you find interesting that you feel like you want to contribute to, you can find their repository, you can check out their contributing guide and then start contributing to that particular protocol. So that's another way you can contribute. And once again, as a non-developer looking to contribute one way or the other to the blockchain space, you can also contribute with whatever knowledge you have by first of all learning what the blockchain is about, having some basic knowledge of the blockchain. So that's going to help you to be able to know what's next to do. So some questions that you may have that might probably be like, oh, I'm still a bit confused whether or not I want to get into blockchain, or I am not a developer, but I want to become a blockchain developer. Do I need to know, or do I need to have been programming before coming into blockchain development? The answer I like to give is not yes, neither is it no, but I like to say that it's going to help you a lot if you already have this basic knowledge of programming before coming into blockchain development. So, like I said earlier, if you are looking to go into smart contract development, there are different programming languages that you can use to write your smart contracts. And that's dependent on the blockchain that you want to contribute to. There are some blockchain that makes use of Python. There are some that makes use of Go. There are some that makes use of Solidity, TypeScript related language, and then so many other languages. So now just imagine if you already have knowledge, if you already have knowledge writing, let's say you already have knowledge writing Python, for instance. So with that, your Python knowledge, you can translate it into writing. For instance, Agorant, for instance, they make use of Python for their smart contracts. So being a Python developer, you and then maybe you check out the ecosystem, you check out that particular blockchain, you feel like, oh, I like what these people are doing, I want to be part of what these guys are doing, or I want to build my solution on top of this particular blockchain. Now, in that regard, you don't have to start, it's not going to be like you are starting completely afresh by going to learn about blockchain from scratch, or sorry, not even blockchain, learn about the programming language from scratch. But like I said, you need to have that basic knowledge, like the general knowledge of the blockchain, and then still have blockchain specific knowledge. I think I've not mentioned this today. So having blockchain specific knowledge, it all boils down to the fact that, oh, you already have blockchain knowledge, you already have the general knowledge of the blockchain, but then you probably don't understand how the EVM blockchain works, or you don't understand how the Solana blockchain works. So having those specific knowledge of each of these blockchains based on what you are interested in, or based on the blockchain you're interested in, is going to help a lot, because at the end of the day, like I mentioned earlier, each of these blockchain, they have the way they do their things, they have the way they handle transactions, they have the way they write their smart contracts. So having this knowledge of, say, oh, this is how you build or you write smart contract in Solana, and this is how you write smart contract in Solidity, and this is how transactions work in Solidity. So this is going to be very, very, very important and very, very good in your journey. So this is something you should take note of. So it's not like in the Web2 world where we talk about, say, oh, I'm a backend developer. So backend is backend. And so there's not like yeah, backend is backend, but then there are different programming languages for different if you want to write backend. So some people might choose to do Python and Django for backend, and some people might choose to do Next.js, that's using JavaScript, or JavaScript and Node.js for their backend. So these are different ways you write backend. So Shara, I can see you live in this session. Thank you very much for joining, and thanks very much for the comments. If you have any question, please do well to drop your question in the comment section. And then, yeah, moving forward, like I said, because I have some people around me, they are like, oh, I am a designer or I am a product manager. I want to be part of what is happening on the blockchain space. I don't know what to do or where to begin from. I don't even understand what is going on or all the terminologies that are being used within the blockchain space. I'm just lost. So if you are that person, my advice for you would be to start by learning, having this general knowledge of the blockchain. Study what blockchain is, study as much as you can study, read course read, watch videos and all that. So those are going to be very helpful for you in your journey. So and then so that applies to everybody generally. And then for developers, to summarize, for developer, after you have gotten the basic knowledge, the general knowledge of the blockchain, get specific domain knowledge of the block of that blockchain that you want to contribute to. And having gotten that, study their documentation in and out so that you understand what that particular blockchain stands for, what they do, how they do their things, how they handle transactions, accounts, wallets, and all of those things. So these are going to be very helpful in your journey. And you have to like decide within yourself what kind of blockchain developer do you want to be. Do you want to become a smart contract developer? Do you want to become a DApp developer? Do you want to become a smart contract auditor? So that's like another level as part of being a blockchain developer. So yeah, so those are some of the things you can do to help yourself within this space and to be able to achieve as much as you want to achieve. And in the absence of no question, I might be ending this session, but maybe by the time you come online and watch this video, if you have any question, still feel free to drop it and I will be happy to answer your questions. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what I have to say concerning getting into the blockchain space as a blockchain developer. So once again, don't get scared or don't be scared of this roadmap that I'm sharing with you. It looks long, but it's not everything. So once again, to summarize, just to make it stick, um, like this, like the session that you should be concerned about. This session that talks about like the general knowledge, just have the general knowledge. This one, okay. So I'm seeing your question, Shara, but I'm not really clear what you mean. Will you highlight this diverse role in a different session? Yeah, I probably will do that in a different session, like the different roles that are available. Today, just giving some general knowledge or roadmap for those that want to get into the blockchain space. So I believe to some extent I probably would have answered some of the beginner friendly questions in the process of explaining this roadmap. So and then um, Like I talk about the storage. So these are things you should have knowledge of, whether you are developing or not, whether you are a developer or not. Okay, yeah, thank you. I got the question now. So the diverse blockchain profession. So we have different professions in the blockchain space. Like I mentioned earlier, we have blockchain developers, applications. So as a blockchain developer, it's kind of like divided into different aspects. So that's like you could be an application level developer, you could be a protocol developer. That's as a blockchain developer. You could be an auditor too as well, and then apart from that, there are other things that you can be in the blockchain space that are not specifically development per se. I see a lot of community people within the blockchain space, like community managers, like social media marketers, and then we have UI UX designer, product managers. So these days, if you see a Web3 organization looking for a prospective candidate, let's say they are looking for a front end developer, you could see something like in the requirements, you could see something like a Web3 front end developer. What does that really mean? It simply means that even though you have a Web2 background as a front end developer, they also expect that you have some knowledge of the blockchain, that you probably have interacted with a smart contract before. So that's what they mean when they say a Web3 front end developer. So front end development is front end development. I like to say this a lot. So, but the difference is a Web2 front end developer probably don't know anything about the blockchain. It's possible they have never interacted with a blockchain, sorry, with a smart contract or even with any blockchain before. So, and for you to be able to work effectively with any Web3 organization, having that general knowledge becomes very, very important. So, whether your role is in blockchain development or you are in a non-blockchain development role or looking for a non-blockchain developer role, you still need that general knowledge of the blockchain. It's very, very important because you cannot you cannot deliver on what is expected of you if you don't have that general knowledge and if you don't have that domain or blockchain domain specific knowledge. That's like understanding what that particular blockchain is about, what they stand for, what they do, and how they do their things. So this, whatever I'm saying, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you to Shara. So whatever I'm saying applies to um, everyone, whether be it a blockchain developer or whether be it a UI UX designer or a product manager or a digital marketer. So this is very, very, very important for everyone. So you need to take note of that. So for you to be able to succeed in the blockchain space, you need to have this knowledge. You need to know all of these things. You need to have the basic knowledge, have the domain specific knowledge. And then for a developer, that's where we now start talking about having knowledge of maybe the smart contract framework that is available in that particular ecosystem or in that particular blockchain. And then that's where we also now start talking about the smart contract language that is used by that particular blockchain. So those are the things that you can concern yourself with as a developer in the blockchain space. And then also understanding of version control system like Git. So like I mentioned earlier, whether you have been programming before or not, this is a must-have knowledge. So this really have nothing to do with being a blockchain developer. So whether you're a Web2 developer is something you should already know, or you need to know as somebody that is just coming in. So I think that's pretty much it for this video or for this session. So if you enjoyed the session, you want to see something like this again, I appreciate if you can drop it in the comment section. Let me know what other topic you think you'll be interested in that you would like me to talk about or like me to have a live session on. And I'll be happy to do that. And if you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. You can still do that even after this video. I'll go through and answer any questions that you may have as much as possible. So